ready?
All right, so Pastor Todd.
Yes, sir.
So I was watching a video yesterday. You know the guy. I don't even know. You might have saw it yourself. But his video said that do not tell him or anybody else that the president does not have power. You know, I always say the president ain't got no power anyway. It's up to the cabinet and all this and all that.
This brother is almighty at this point.
This dude was literally. So my question for you is, they say that democracy is the power of the people. Do the people have any power right now?
Right now, no.
Absolutely not.
The only power they have right now is to organize, unite, strategize, and position themselves for the next available opening, so to speak. That's the best I could say.
Yes, exactly right. That was,
Organize,
you said it.
strategize, unite for the next available
For the next
opening.
available, I don't think there's anything we can do.
Not about what he's doing right now. And to the credit of some, including individuals who were appointed by him and other conservative presidents in the past few terms that were conservative presidents, some of the judges have opposed him and made life difficult for him. And I do credit them, even though the Supreme Court has given several judgments in his favor that have been very destructive, I believe. I do believe they also have pushed back on some things from the Supreme Court on down. And so I do have to give credit. Do we have an audio problem?
Do we?
A second. Okay, we're back now.
Okay. Yeah,
Sorry guys, we're back. We had a quick little something. But to the point of him not only maximizing, but at this point, and I don't know if you were familiar with what Dick Cheney did during the Bush years of really taking the reins of executive power during the terrorist stuff and all that. It was well known that, I mean, he not only was basically the de facto president, basically, Dick Cheney, but he just really maximized the executive branch when it came to declaring these wars and deciding that they were going to attack people without congressional authorization. He's making Dick Cheney, I mean, look like Mickey Mouse right now.
And so to that point, your boy has supposedly walked away with a black eye.
Musk?
Yeah, with a black eye.
Musk is on drugs, first of all. If you guys can't tell, Elon Musk. No, they said that he's a pill popper, and
Trump and the Trump administration is saying it.
And the funny thing is, what made you think this dude wasn't gonna bite you too? Like, as soon as you walk away and not on his team anymore, it's gonna be chaos. But I mean, this cat got ran out, and outside of doing what Trump probably wanted him to do, which was strike fear into a lot of people and basically, like, you know how to say, own the libs and, you know, he didn't actually affect anything of substance. He actually made a more chaotic government.
Oh, absolutely.
The number of people they laid off in the federal government and then had to try to call back because they realized they didn't have anybody to do the very vital function. I mean, they laid off people that were managing the nuclear program.
Well, literally in Washington, the housing the housing has crashed.
It's crashed, yeah.
It has crashed because of all the people that were laid off and have had to sell their houses or get rid of their houses.
That was a dumpster fire. And the crazy thing is, in some ways, like the first term, even though I feel he's more potent in this term, Trump's own willingness to engage people who shouldn't be in positions is actually the thing that is limiting him more than anything because of this chaos. And he's obviously not limited, so to speak, but I'm saying it's insane to me. And the complete tearing down of some of our vital agencies like the FBI, like the Defense Department, you know, that is going to have far and long reaching, you know, effects. The fact that he has gone against, and I just believe it's a coward move, of going after, and I know that they're all in some way not quite legal, but some of them are actually legally here.
Oh, absolutely.
But going after just the working, stable people in general, and not so much the criminals and the gang members and this and that. I mean, they have had to do with fake tattoos and Photoshop tattoos on his hand. But even
and
then,
he acted like it was real.
Right, and he wouldn't admit.
He wouldn't admit it.
Like I said today, he is the judgment. He is the curse, because it's like almost comically dangerous, is what I could say. It's if this was a skit, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
but it's real life. And you got a guy looking at you saying, this is Photoshop. And he's like, well, whatever. You're a nasty person. Have you heard about them calling him Taco Trump?
I ain't heard that one yet.
He now has the taco economic policy, which is Trump always cops out?
Always chickens out.
Always chickens out. Yeah. Trump always chickens out. So basically,
talking about
after he makes all these threats on the tariffs, and now they call it like the taco policy. He just makes all these tough threats. He's going to do 150% tariffs on China, and then he keeps doing these delays.
You can only cry wolf so long before somebody calls you on your BS.
And I know that his crazy is very destabilizing to other people because he's unpredictable. Okay, I'll give it to him. He has a little bit of an edge being unpredictable and being over one of the biggest economies in the world, of course. But these dudes are just straight crazy. Putin is just a straight killer. Like, killer. Like, you're dealing with a killer.
Right.
That's the truth. And I almost think, honestly, I don't think anybody's really thought about this. But I think that a part of this deportation stuff and detainment stuff is that he's trying to put himself on par as a dangerous man as Putin and the North Korean guy. And I just believe it, and the Chinese guy, because they're the real deal. They have really jailed folk, tortured folk, murdered journalists, poisoned people, folks just disappear. And I think that he knows, in a certain sense, that he's the clown prince who keeps everybody off kilter, but they will shoot somebody.
But in that, he's also trying to let go or pardon some real killers. And that is
can we talk about these pardons?
Part of his hood.
Can we talk about
that's part of his hood appeal?
The Larry Hoover and who was it? Young Jock? Who was the other guy? NBA young boy?
Something like that.
One of them.
Young somebody. Bow Wow.
Somebody young.
Lil Young something.
NBC, Lil Young, Scrappy Doo. Pop Smoke, Scooby Doo. Are these not can I say something? Can I just say something about that? Are these not some of the worst rap names you've ever heard since like 83?
Man, they getting worse and worse.
The worst.
I mean, at the beginning, when you hear about them old school, like DJ Skibbity Boop Boop, like it was goofy because they were in tight pants and rhinestones and stuff. It's gotten like worse. Caboose or Papoose and Scrappy.
Just use your real name at this point.
Just be Darnell Jackson at this point. At this point, just be Daquan.
Corey Love.
Be Daquan. Because these names, and they're too close together. They be like Lil Scrappy featuring Lil Scrap. Like, y'all the same person.
And all y'all gonna do is mumble anyway.
Mumble rap. But anyway, the Larry Hoover and this rapper.
What is he, 80?
First of all, I don't care. And y'all can hate me if you want to. But there's probably a lot more people deserving of a second trial and who need to be exonerated because they actually are innocent, but just couldn't get out on a technicality or whatever. And this guy did it. Of course, they play this rehabilitated, but he got more years because he was still running the prison from jail. Still running the gang from jail. Here's my thing. There's Black Panthers that went to jail that are still in there. There are people that have people like the Innocence Project, that movie Just Mercy, that have been fighting for years to get people out who had unfair trials. Absolutely. And to try to placate the hood, which he does.
That's exactly what he does.
With these exonerations. And to me, if I was being pardoned or commuted or whatever, I don't care what category it is. If I was being pardoned or commuted to something next to some super rich white reality TV star people who deserve to be in jail, I would look at my own commute sideways.
I'm 80 years old. Leave me here.
Yeah, leave me here.
What am I going to do?
Whatever.
I'd rather stay here than give you the credibility that you're looking for.
A real man would say, I won't accept this.
I won't accept
Give
this.
it to a younger man that has a life to live
Free
and a
R.
family
Kelly.
out there.
Free R. Kelly. I believe I can
He already
fly.
said he might free Diddy.
He
He already said he might step into the Diddy.
he gonna step in before he gets, because if he goes to jail, he loses all that money. He loses all that.
Yeah.
So he gonna free him beforehand.
Free Diddy. Hey, he let Eric Adams through from New York.
Absolutely.
He let Eric Adams through. But I mean, I said it before and I'm going to continue to say it. What I said earlier to your initial question, if this chance exists to take advantage of whether it's midterms or the next presidential election, I'll say it again. If this man is a threat to democracy, civil rights, all that we hold dear as black people, white people, and I'll say especially black people, then treat it like the emergency that it is. And me, as a skeptic, as a cynic of some sorts, if I see what I've been seeing, first of all, a lack of real initiative and communication between groups, and true lack of initiative. There is no real flooding the zone with information. There really isn't. I mean, let's be honest. You're involved in organizing justice groups. I mean, how much is your inbox and your Facebook really flooded with local chapters, national groups, state groups? I'm talking really, I'm not talking about we had another banquet, another meeting, another regional, and I'm not joking. I'm not putting it down.
No,
I'm just saying, I'm not saying we had another regional meeting, we had another this. I'm talking about boots on the ground.
What I would say to that is locally, none.
It's got
Statewide, there's a lot of organizations out there doing a lot of work. Locally, that is one of my goals at this point, is to try to bring some of that statewide
it's
organizations
almost like
in.
ministry, man. I mean, and I'll say this without any fear that people will take it the wrong way, man. Sometimes you got to put yourself out there. Visibility matters. I mean, that's the thing that I try to communicate to our traditional groups and our older folk, and honestly, the way our church, your church, some of us who have a more, the ministry is robust. It's because I choose to be consistently visible, voice out there, hear and see, not just echoing and parroting somebody else, but really pushing the envelope and gathering the attention. Absolutely. And you got to gather the attention of a new crowd. Absolutely. So again, if we continue to be petty, we can continue to be divided, continue to be fairly subdued. And I sometimes I just don't think people understand what kind of energy and vibrancy you have to bring to the party.
Yes. A
million things are pushing for our attention.
And whether it's your party or not. I mean, I just had the newly elected mayor of Steubenville at our church yesterday. He's a Republican. I don't care. Why would you? I don't care.
I booed him. Openly. No. But I mean, I get you. But I'm saying the party as far as the groups, the actual civil rights groups.
We have to, there are some things that we have to cross lines on.
But here's the thing to your point though. We can do that more effectively. And I'm not saying you need to do it, but I'm saying as a group, as a company of groups, invite that senator in or whoever, but make them walk in and face a united front of people. You know what I mean? Because they'll look at you like, why did you invite him in? Well, we all could be doing this together if you come together. And then they would know that there's a serious contingency of influential people who are representing a community.
And the truth of the matter is, he may be a Republican mayor, but he's the mayor of Steubenville, which is Democrats, Republicans.
Something I learned years ago, and I have to credit Mr. Fred Harris for this. You know, the person in power is the person in power. There might be some limits depending on how devious they are about what they're doing and how hardcore and extreme they are. And there are some people that I would just never welcome because of their values and how they behave. But if somebody is showing me that if I put the right pressure, whether it's with honey or with vinegar, it doesn't matter which way it goes, whether I'm being sweet and trying to be opening or whether I got to be forceful. If somebody's showing me that they'll at least give me the time to present my position, I'm going to create an opportunity for me to present my position one way or another.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I'm grateful and appreciative of the opportunity we have, and I hate to say that we're normalized. It's like nothing Trump can say can surprise us anymore.
Not at this point.
Nothing Trump can say can surprise us anymore. But what's popping, y'all? Are you liking? Are you sharing? Are you tagging? I hope you are. We had a phenomenal Sunday. Glad to be back. 2 weeks in a row is a record right about now.
Reverend Robinson.
Hey, Sister KK. I love it. I love it. Good to see you, Brother Swanson. If you haven't liked, if you haven't shared, make sure you do that. Make sure you tune in and watch. First things first, it's graduation season. We all know what that means.
Money.
It means the preacher is broke.
Keep some money in your pocket.
Every year I say I'm going to ask the church to put in my budget some money for graduations. Because I ain't got it. I ain't got it. And Kevin said there's a chair missing.
Kevin the new Mo.
Man, I was about to say, Kevin's the male Mo. I did promise we're going to have Bishop Bowman on soon. We're going to have Bishop Bowman on soon. We were sitting together. I got to give a shout out. I got to give a shout out. We missed the Apostle Kent Barnes, but I was with the Bishop, Bowman, Kevin. And here's the funny thing. I was just placed at this table. Very friendly people. Celebrating, by the way, happy birthday to our Bishop C. Sean Tyson, the Calvary Ministries International. Love you. And happy 15th anniversary to Bishop and Pastor Krista Tyson at Mount Calvary. It's been 15 years already. Wow. It's hard to believe. Phenomenal gala on Friday night. I was sat with the group, and then and I saw my boys over there, man, and I was like, I'm not about to be left out of the cool kids table. So I just excused myself and went over and sat with them, man, and we clowned. Shout out to Pastor Kevin Carson, who was the MC, Bishop Bowman and I, and a crew, my man Brantley, Pastor Brantley from Calvary. We just had a good time, man. That's good time. Cool. His lovely wife as well. I saw all the pictures, man. It looked beautiful. It's beautiful time. But, you know, it's graduation season. I went to my first open house today, and bless the young man because he's a phenomenal young brother. I'm just glad to see him progressing, working, graduating, going to college. And, you know, he's overcome just the barriers, man. Mama, big shout out to Sierra. Y'all don't know her, but I know her. Sierra, one of our members, did a phenomenal job raising this young man. So polite. And, but I realized I got like 8 more of these to do.
Here's my rule. I got like 8 more. Can I tell you my rule? It's gonna dwindle. Can I tell you my rule from now on?
What's your rule?
My rule from now on is I will come. You will come. But it has to be something significant. If you are graduating and you're graduating with a D-, I'm not bringing money.
You know what? That GPA need to be on the door.
I'm not bringing money.
That GPA needs to be on the door.
If you're getting married, I will come to the wedding. I will come to the reception. But if the reception is at red and white, listen, I'm not bringing money. There has to be some significance.
I have some suggestions. I mean, you know, first of all, the earlier the better. If y'all were really smart, once you knew you were eligible to graduate, you were going ahead and have your open house at tax time. If you were really smart, you would make sure that you had that joint done before April. Like if you know you're graduating and there's no way they can put you out, because the earlier the better. Because if you're doing yours like in July, you're getting a $5 McDonald's card, brother. I mean, you getting whatever I got in my cabinet. You're getting money. You're getting a half-used Texas Roadhouse gift card. You're getting some Robux.
I'm sorry, I forgot to finish my rules.
You're getting an old PlayStation 2 controller.
If you got 7 kids.
Kevin said Mary M's, not Mary M's.
If you got 7 kids, I'm only giving the first one.
I'm only coming to the first one.
I'll come to all 4. I'll come to all 7, but I'm only giving the first one.
That's a great question because me and Shamika just talked about this. Because Shamika, First Lady, has no shame. She will shout in church and then walk out openly eating a plate of pasta salad as we're walking out the open house because it looked good to her. And it was, by the way, the pasta salad was slamming. So I have a policy. I don't eat anybody's food most of the time.
He doesn't.
I do not eat anybody's food. I actually don't like to eat publicly much anymore, period. And quite frankly, no shade to anybody, I'm kind of tired of chicken and green beans, pasta salad, meatballs. I'm kind of tired. Spice it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Spice it up a little bit. You know, do a Chipotle open house or
Do walking tacos.
Do some filet mignon.
Right.
Salmon. I mean, something. You know what I mean? A salad bar. Spice it up for a brother. You know,
absolutely.
But it's good. I get it. The family comes together. Everybody cooks. I'm sure it's good. It really is. It looked good. Everybody was slamming. But I just, between open houses, you know, I don't go to baby showers, baby shower plates, which now they just sell baby shower plates on Facebook. You can just buy baby shower food. People just cook it and sell the plates.
Really?
Yeah, like the little wings, and meatballs, pasta salad. Yeah, and a roll. They just sell it. $15 a plate. They literally, look it up, baby shower plates.
Wow. You
can buy it. I just feel like we've gotten into a rut. That's what I feel. That's what I'm saying. We've gotten into a black food event rut. Well, and we need to mix it up.
It's quick.
It's standard.
And it's pretty cheap.
It's cheap.
It's cheap.
Yeah. It's cheap.
That's
and
true.
I mean, most people just go to John Eco.
Get the John Eco chicken.
Get the chicken.
Get the John Eco chicken.
John Eco chicken is good.
And I don't trust everybody's cooking. You cannot trust everybody's cooking. I mean, you just can't. You don't know if they got cats.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You don't know what's going on in their house.
You don't know if they're going to fry their wings without...
This is why I don't cook. This is why I don't cook for other people. I use a thermometer to make sure my wings are done. I put
I'll be killing it.
I put a thermometer in fries to make sure they're done. I don't care. I don't care. I paid for this digital thermometer. Hey, I'm gonna use it.
Let me tell you what the funny thing is, Mike. He want to fry and put thermometers in everything. Then we go out to eat. I want my steak medium undone.
I want it blue.
I want a medium undone.
Just bring the cow out here. Just bring the cow out here and lay it on the table. That's how I eat my steak. Jeffrey about to throw up when we go out to eat. Where is he at, Columbus? We're at Columbus. He's getting a steak.
I wouldn't even look at it.
It's getting queasy.
What'd you get? Medium?
Medium rare.
Oh, medium rare.
Medium rare.
Good.
Okay.
Medium rare blood just all over the whole plate, just everywhere.
I like medium.
Vampire. Vampire looking.
I do my medium, not medium
I got
rare.
the center spirit in me. I got that center spirit. But hey, first of all, congratulations to all the graduates. You know what? Hit the plus sign, Mike. Hit the plus sign and add a photo to me, because this is not our meme of the week. But the first one, the first picture, the cartoon picture, put that up. Go ahead and put it up. This was funny to me. It was funny to me. It's not the meme of the week, but this is basically how things go now. Period. It's my baby's moment. I don't care if you don't get to hear your child's name because of me. the screaming and carrying on. And I'm not talking about, have you seen some of these videos? I'm not just talking, I love how she's dressed too, because I've seen a few like that at the graduations. It's not, it used to be in my day, because I came after a very popular person, and their folk at the graduation went wild. Mm-hmm. And then they said my name. And these polite Johnson ninjas didn't even clap.
It's like,
I think my mom just said amen. Dead silence. But now it's turned into
who's screaming the loudest.
But they're doing whole dances on the stage.
Hey,
a couple colleges had to stop the ceremonies because they were all doing their fraternity.
If you went through college and you paid all that money,
I don't believe
let them do what they want to do.
I don't believe in that.
Let them do what they want to do.
Because that's what it's become. I paid for this car. Let me do burnouts in the middle of the highway. That's what we've become now. You did what a million, let's be honest, hundreds of thousands of people are graduating every year. Mm-hmm. Okay, school is not that hard. Unless you got up there with one leg and half a lung, and you fought in the Iraq war, and you finally got to graduate, or you one of them 90-year-old people that was a sharecropper, and you finally got your high school. I don't want to hear it. What I want to see is, what are you looking like 5 years from now after you did all that dancing? Are you dancing yourself to the unemployment line? Some SNAP benefits? But okay, here's me, my opinion only. Black people gotta have some dignified moments. I believe that we're undermining ourselves. And I'm not saying that black excellence cannot go beside black celebration. But again, you're in a mixed audience. And let's just be clear, half of these kids didn't pay for it. Their mamas and daddies went on the hook for these loans.
Grants.
Some of these professors know good and well that if it wasn't for them giving these kids a break. Letting them back in, let them go, get another chance, re-enroll, what they call it, probation, all that stuff.
Well, I mean, is it not on the school, though? Is it not on the school to say, we're not doing that?
But they've had to stop, like, ceremonies now. Like, I've watched presidents have to stop the college commencements.
Okay, so
and the high school commencements. Then they get mad. They say we're going to withhold, which I do think it's dumb to say we're going to withhold your diploma because you already earned it.
Yeah.
Did you see the guy with the baby? He took a baby across the. He wasn't supposed to, and he picked up his baby and took him across, and the police started chasing him. So he ran across the stage with his. I'm like, it's not that serious, man.
That's crazy. So real quick, to that point, I was TikTok debate. Obviously, but it was a good one for me, at least to me. A guy is getting divorced right now. He's getting divorced because his wife is graduating from college with a master's degree.
Oh, yeah, and the baby.
And the baby is graduating.
The 3-year-old is graduating from like daycare.
Yeah, and he told the wife, I'm going to the baby's graduation.
Was it the wife or girlfriend?
It was his wife. It was his ex-girlfriend. It was his ex-girlfriend's or ex-wife's kid. It wasn't their kid.
But the new girl is his girlfriend or wife? Because I saw two different posts.
I thought they said wife.
I thought I saw one that said girlfriend. To me, that makes the difference.
I don't care what it is.
Really?
I don't care what it is. You listen. You gonna go. First of all, y'all going to celebrate this babies who. I mean, they making popcorn necklaces.
So are some of these college students.
They making popcorn necklaces.
So are some of these college students, by the way.
They thought, ooh, look at Shawaquisha. Her shoes is untied.
Listen,
she can't do her ABCs yet.
Listen, I just did a master's program. Some of them can't do their ABCs yet. I done read some of these papers. That was a crazy one. That was a crazy one because I mean, it's your baby though.
Yeah,
it's your baby.
It is. I mean, it's your baby, but it's your wife is graduating with a master. So here was the debate. One, this is their first graduation, but they're gonna have plenty more.
Who will?
The baby. This is their first graduation, but they're gonna have plenty more. The other way was your wife has already had plenty graduations.
Yeah, she got a master's. She should be used to this by now. But now she's getting a double master.
So I mean, it's.
Okay, can I start with one other thing before we go? Because I know we're way over time, but this is just our new format now. We just talk about anything. We have too many graduations at every level.
Indeed, for that.
I didn't have 8th grade graduations. I didn't have it when I was coming up in school. There was no 8th grade graduation.
I can't even remember.
The fact that people are like mad when schools don't do 8th grade, and I'm not bugging on y'all, but at the kindergarten, it's cute, but it's not mandatory.
It's not.
It's cute.
Preschool.
And then they be getting up talking about what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be G.I. Joe. I want to be what did one guy say? I want to be a garbage man. What's that? One guy said I want to be a garbage man. One girl said I want to be pregnant. I don't know if you saw that video. I want to be pregnant.
Yeah, I see.
But she was innocent. I really do believe that there are too many graduations and they're losing their specialness. I think. I mean, we do not need a preschool graduation, a kindergarten graduation, a 5th grade graduation, an 8th grade graduation, almost a 12th grade graduation. Now people are graduating with like 6.8 GPAs. I don't even know what they're taking.
I really want to know that because I mean, we go every one of these.
What are you taking, space courses or something?
Every one of these affairs we go to. She had. I thought the end was 4.0.
It's AI, man.
I thought the end was 4.0.
They're taking Elon
How do you
Musk
got
classes.
5.7? What
did they build a new planet or something? I mean, what are you doing to earn this?
They're going to space astronaut school. I'm like, how did you get this?
I mean, it's inflation, GPAs or something.
My God.
I mean, God bless all of them, but I'm like, I feel like a dummy because I graduated with like a 3.2 and I thought I was smart. And now they graduating with like a 5.8.
I'm like, how did you get it?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
But it's all good. Okay, one more. There was a lady who sued her school and wants her tuition reimbursed because she found out that the professor created all the course content in ChatGPT.
I ain't mad at her.
She found out that the syllabus, the tests were being graded by ChatGPT, which you can do. You can grade and stuff by ChatGPT. So she wants her $8,000 back for her first semester of tuition.
I'm gonna have to start getting to hip because I mean everybody.
Oh, you can do everything, man. There's no limit. There's absolutely no limit.
I was watching one yesterday talking about they'll find grants for you. I was like, let me go ahead and download it.
I let it speak in tongues for me. I just put it up to the. I put the phone up to the. I be like, hey, 3 people in here want the Holy Ghost, so I just put the phone up to the. You can actually make AI speak in tongues, by the way.
Seriously?
Yeah. If you just tell it to speak in tongues, it'll do it.
Wow.
It's going to hell. I mean,
ChatGPT is
the AI is definitely going to hell. But I mean, I could clearly read. I had some professors that were clearly submitting form responses to some of our student discussion posts. And it felt, because I'm familiar with AI, it felt like a robot was talking to me. And I'm like, bruh, if you're using it, I'm using it. We all gonna use it together. ChatGPT University.
Let's roll.
But I mean, I ain't wrong. I ain't mad at her. I'm not, because she said, y'all have all these AI plagiarism. You know, they have a lot of new policies. They're threatening to run essays through these, which are, by the way, very inaccurate, where they claim that they can catch you using it. It turns out you can just take something somebody wrote and they'll claim it's AI. It's the text patterns, and if you're just a basic writer, it'll act like it's AI. But anyway, so she wants her money back, because she said, I would have got expelled if you would have caught me.
Right.
With no money. Well. So, I mean, it is what it is. But congratulations, grads. If I see you after this month, it's $20. That's all I got. It's time for Meme of the Week. Y'all like, y'all share, and get ready to discuss this meme.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
We are, these are all jokes. We are just playing.
All right, so every pastor worth his salt invites people to church, wants to make sure that people get to the house of the Lord, and we will use any way we can. And like every good pastor, whatever the latest trend is, whatever the latest meme is, we're going to put it to work. And I got to give a shout out to this pastor, because this was completely unsurprising, totally expected. Okay, something just blew up across the yard, apparently. Totally expected. Go ahead and play it, Mike. Y'all go to this guy's church.
Hello, I'm Bishop R.D. Sanders, Bishop and Overseer of the Free Church of God, 1844 West 10th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm inviting you to join us every Sunday at 8 a.m. It's going down.
That's all you need to hear.
Where's that praise at? Where the miracles at? I said, whoa, it's at the Free Church of God. Yes, it is.
Can we stop this? Can we stop this? And the fact that he had to sing it.
The fact of the matter is, Carnival Cruise, I just got a text message today. They stopped the fans from coming on the boat.
They won't let fans on the boat?
They won't let. Listen, it's over. Kill the fans.
Wait. What did the fans do to Carnival Cruise?
It's over. Somebody probably got stabbed with one of them jumps. I don't know. It's
well, we all
over.
know Carnival Cruise is like the Spirit Airlines of cruise lines now, because every time I see them online, they're fighting. But back to this guy. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, what?
Just let it go.
First of all, it's so unoriginal. It's so unoriginal. I mean, I don't get it. I've seen the boots on the ground church parties,
yes,
fellowships, fundraisers, but to actually turn this into, he said, I'm gonna have to go visit. Go visit Jason and tell me if it was worthy of this commercial. Because here's the other part. Sometimes the commercial is way better than the actual church service.
A lot of times. Most of the times.
It's way better than the actual church service. But I mean, what is this going to end?
You know, y'all go up there to hear with them fans that y'all gonna go up there and y'all gonna hear holy.
Listen,
holy.
they gonna get some old deacons doing devotions off key.
Absolutely.
You gonna be saying
no piano.
Listen,
I can't do it.
I give them credit, but nobody's coming to church over this. That's the thing to me.
I'm staying away because of it.
I'm not going. Yeah, I'm not going. That would make me say you're not taking this
Never
seriously.
mind. Yeah, never mind.
And then you got folks shouting and all that stuff. The flyer too. Play it one more time.
See
The flyer too.
I ain't see the flyer.
The flyer.
Hello, I'm Bishop R.D.
I'll play it while
Sanders, Bishop and Overseer of the Free Church of God,
I'm trying to
1844
play it for
West
you.
10th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm inviting you to join us every Sunday at 8 a.m.
Where's that word?
It's going down.
Where's that worship at? Where's that praise at? Where the miracles at? I say, whoa, it's at the Free Church of God. Yes, it is.
I do like how he worked his church name into
Why
it.
is it the Free Church?
It's at the because the one down the street costs. One down the street got a $20 cover charge.
I'm done.
Fellas, 35 and up. Ladies, 21 and up. At the other Church of God, that's not so free. I don't know, man. But God bless you, man. God bless you. I hope 10 years from now you look back on that and say, hey, that worked. that worked. Not Diddy and Mace. Check that. All right, if you have a meme, you know what to send it to. If you have a meme, send it to religiouslyincorrectpodcast@gmail.com. You can always inbox us. You can always look us up on Facebook or Instagram or send us an inbox. We got another one for next week already that I can't wait to share with you guys. So make sure you check in. And while you're there, make sure you like and follow. Well, we want to thank our sponsor today, Annex Events, who's got everything you need to make your event unforgettable, from tents to chairs to all of the extras, decorations. They can do Super Bowl parties, graduations, your church events, and of course, open houses. Might as well get them reserved for next year. They not only have that, but machines for carnival atmospheres. They'll set up, they'll tear down, so you don't have to do anything. Call in Annex Events and make your next celebration a hit. Mention our podcast and you'll get 10% off your very first rental, but not the second. Call 330-979-2909 or visit annexevents.com. That's annexevents.com. We will not recreate that for a RIP advertising, but what we will do is jump on the next cheap trend. We'll jump on the next one.
Why not?
We've been being left out.
Why not?
So second half, kind of our main subject. I call this, Jeff, class is in session. Here's my observation. I should have put a question mark on it.
Okay.
I should have put a question mark on it because there are a few things, very short list of things when it comes to the church that have not kind of restored since COVID.
Right.
And the one thing that is the most glaring thing to me is Bible study.
Wow.
If you notice, I would guesstimate 75% of churches, the pastors have remained totally virtual
Totally.
for Bible study.
Completely.
Now, I'm not saying they don't have a noon class or an early class. Perfect example. And I'll give two examples that are a bigger church and a smaller church. Both, my friend Dr. A. Van Odom, Friendship Church right here in Warren, and my Bishop Timothy J. Clark, they both do a streamed Bible study class at noon on Wednesdays. And then I believe Dr. Odom does an evening that's not streamed.
Right. Yeah.
And then Bishop just does a virtual thing from his office. And that's been his Wednesday night Bible study. And a lot of our peers are just solely virtual. I'm virtual in the house and it fluctuates. I'd be honest and transparent, like most pastors won't be. We're not terribly strong And I feel like our lessons are relevant. I'm tooting my own. I really do feel like, but that's not a. And maybe they're not. Maybe I should do a survey. But people won't tell you the truth. Like they won't tell you the truth, you know. But what do you think? I mean, was Wednesday was always obviously the smaller. It was always a smaller service. But I just feel like, where is Christian education going in general? Sunday schools, if they even exist anymore.
Really down.
Our Sunday school is actually up.
Is it?
Sunday school is the place to be at Second Baptist, by the way. 9 a.m., which I was skeptical. It is obviously your older crowd and people that don't have to get little ones up that come, but it's 9 a.m. now.
Right.
Because we start at 10 worship service. But Sunday school is great, but there's just been a palpable notice, especially when we've all sort of talked about a resurgence of folk coming to Sunday. Like, people have really come back in a lot of our churches. That's been a great testimony. But Wednesdays seem to be a different story, and teaching ministries seem to be a little different. So what is your take?
I would like to know what is the ratio? What was the ratio to what it is now? You know, obviously, and I can definitely see those 12 o'clock noon ones. I used to have 12 o'clock noon, and it was generally a lot of the older individuals who were retired. Just, you know, they came at 12 o'clock. A lot of them didn't want to come out after dark, you know, especially in the wintertime, because it started getting dark about 6 o'clock when Bible study actually came.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Because does it feel like to you, and I got 4 guys in this room, all of us were basically raised in the church. At what point does people just start saying, I don't want to come out after dark? Because I don't remember that being a thing from like the core older saints when I was a kid. Like, I don't remember that being a thing. Like, it feels like during my pastorate, time being a pastor, the last 10, 15 years, that started to become a big thing. I don't want to be out after dark. I just don't remember. I felt like, especially if you live in a place like Ohio, it comes with the territory. It's going to snow, you're going to have ice, it's going to get dark early half the year, and you just come to church, right? Like, and I'm talking, again, that's usually like your older members. A lot of times you're solid people. Do y'all notice that? I mean, didn't we have more like hardcore, just come to church no matter what type saints?
I really didn't realize it until you said something, but yeah, you're right.
Well, I definitely think so. I mean, it even goes back. It even goes as far as to what is that? The New Year's Eve services. People got to have them at 7 o'clock now because they felt like I'd rather get my folk out and home before.
I'm gonna say something that's kind of unpopular. Slaves came out after. Kevin is on one today. I think I'm being a bad influence on him.
Came out
Kevin was really holy until we started hanging out.
Right, we corrupted him.
But, okay, to Mike's point about crime, I mean, the 80s, the 90s were not pleasant times in most of us. Right, the crack babies were everywhere.
Walk outside your church and say,
well, you didn't have to model it. Nobody asked you for a mime. This cat did a whole mime presentation of addiction.
This is your brain on drugs.
We're canceled. Okay, but I mean it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, our neighborhood's been bad for a minute. But when has black church has not been in the hood, especially the last 30 years or so.
Right.
It just is what it is, you know. But I just feel like those considerations are fairly new.
Yeah, I'm not going to say maybe it's the crime. You know, I think over the last couple of years, we have had a lot of we even had where they started doing security teams inside the church and things of that nature. People coming in, teaching people how to use the guns and all that stuff.
Those little earpieces don't work. Little G.I. Joe costume earpieces. Man, get out of here with that.
That'd be it.
Them little fake CSI.
Some people might have some. I know I got some brothers down there packing.
I mean, packing, yeah, man. But all them cats, I mean, outside of like New Bethel, where they have like an actual Secret Service. Shout out to New Bethel Baptist. They have an actual Secret Service. won't even cross them dudes. Oh, man. But, okay, I'm going to say something that's unpopular I was going to say 3 minutes ago before we got off track. I believe that, you know how they say COVID, like, sparked a lot of stuff that was always there? There's one thing that came out of COVID that I think has been very devastating to the church. And it has accelerated and got to extreme levels of preachers chasing fads and trends of what they heard or saw somebody else do. It got so, like you said, one person doing the 7 o'clock, everybody got to do it. My folk too. They don't need to be out either. Right. You weren't even thinking about it till you saw somebody else doing it. You weren't thinking about being all virtual until you saw somebody else doing it. And it probably might not have been best for your people. I maintain now, I am not totally, Jeff started that security at Elam.
What?
Jeff started that at Elam. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be funny. You live, you shop, you go to the movies, you have people over your house in the same violent neighborhoods that you won't go to church in. You will have people over, park up and down the street, have the Super Bowl party. Nobody says it's going to get dark. Let's not have the Super Bowl party. And then nobody says,
you know what's real funny?
You know what I mean?
You know what's real funny? Is we'll leave Bible study, go to the grocery store and see the same person who said, people I can't come out at night.
At the ghetto store.
And they're trying to ride a cart real fast.
At the Dollar General that gets robbed every day. I mean this with all my heart. When you look back on COVID, I think they're right. We overdid a lot of stuff in our society and in the church. We overdid stuff. We overdid, I think, some of the shutdown stuff. I get an abundance of caution. Everybody, that became the thing. I get it. We overdid the stimulus stuff. I mean, I took the money, but we overdid the stimulus. It obviously had an effect. And I maintain the church overdid it, trying to upend itself. And this is my chance to try new innovative ways. First of all, most people weren't ready to do it in a quality manner that could actually be effective. And secondly, it doesn't work for all of our people. Right. It really doesn't work for all of our people. So I think some of us jumped on a bandwagon and we were afraid of because we were going to get called out for putting our people at risk. Yep. Being traditional, being stuck in traditional. And so we're like afraid of these labels. That's what I feel like as pastors. We're afraid of these labels. We were afraid to be called, dangerous, afraid to be called traditional, afraid to be called stuck in our ways. When the fact is, nobody really knows us but us. And some things just work for us. And I can really only speak to the Black context, but I think the traditional church crowd, we were always going to be more virtual than before, so you were going to catch that extra crowd. But I think we pushed the core crowd out and kept them out too long and then made them adjust to new models. And now people that would have gotten up and drove for that hour Bible study just won't. And it's too convenient to sit at home and watch.
But so, Harris, this is my question. Okay. We were too afraid. Are we too afraid to even stop the online stuff now?
People are afraid to stop it.
I know some people say, I like to just stop and see if I can get people back in.
I've thought about it.
But I'm wondering, I've
thought about it. And I'll tell you why for a few reasons. First of all, sometimes there are just some subjects that are not streamer friendly. To be clear about it, because you're really opening yourself up. And I'm not saying that the truth needs to be hidden or nothing like that. But I mean, you don't see every Muslim imam on there or minister up there just spouting off everything they believe in doctrine and controversial things just for the sake of it.
Well, I know twice I've had to say we're not streaming today. Yeah. We're just there's some subject matter that I need to discuss. We're not streaming today.
But here's the thing: almost like the stimulus payments are a good kind of comparison to streaming. Is the whole thing was, well, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater because people really need this. So if some people are kind of taking advantage of it, that's just the cost of those that really need it. Because if you take it offline, obviously the people who are genuinely sick and shut in, the people who have discovered you from far away, which is another subject because maybe that's not so great either all the time, to have people who feel like, and I'm not talking about case by case, but I'm talking about en masse. I have some people that I appreciate greatly, but all of us, I'm about to get in trouble because I have some members that are out of town. and we're grateful for them. They're phenomenal people. I have one that is my online ambassador.
Yes.
But have we made it easier for you to just find the church of your choice online? Pastors can claim ministers they'll never meet. I'm going to meet one of my ministers for the first time, one of my members for the first time this coming week when I go to Kentucky. That's phenomenal, and I'm grateful for it, but I just wonder what that does to the dynamics overall. Because a part of the Bible study thing, because there's no real music involved or anything, I think that's really been the choosy part of the people who aren't really committed or who kind of listen to anybody and everybody or just have their favorite person. Because I can just get what I think is a good word anywhere. It's not even really about the Sunday morning experience because there is no Sunday morning experience. It's just talking. So whoever's talking the best to me,
right,
or I think is talking the best, I'll just seek that person out. Right. I'll be in Jamal Bryant's Bible study or whoever. And, you know, to me, I just worry about the dynamic it creates.
I think two things. I think that's scary.
Bowie's comment about it.
I think that's scary for one, that you eat everybody's food.
I keep preaching it.
I think that's very scary that you can go to 5 different Bible studies.
I keep preaching
and it's not, you know, it's not really sitting
People think you're being possessive. You're really being protective. And I've said it. I preached it. I put it on Facebook. I don't go to 9 restaurants in one day after church is over. Because I would get sick.
Right.
All these flavors don't mix.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
And so the other question is, are we, as we're holding these online Bible studies, are we limiting somebody from finding a local church?
We could be preventing them. Where they don't have to do hard work anymore. I think it's convenient, and I get it. And Pastor Bowie said pre-COVID, 25, 35 people roundabout. Post-COVID, my observation is the convenience it provides for the pastor, and it is convenient, but I do have some of us asking for us to get back to in-person. I am in person, and whether I have 4 people or sometimes maybe 15 people, 20 people, I can say you might have saw between 50 to 25% of your congregation from Sunday on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. You might see 5% of your congregation.
Absolutely.
From Sunday to Wednesday. Another part of it is, people are just looking to be titillated a little bit too much. And we live in a short form society. And as much as we talk about children and their attention spans, adults are the real culprits. As much as we talk about children and their attention spans, church went over 2 hours this Sunday, and I was little. I said I wouldn't apologize, but it's just, we've gotten so used to we were at 50 minutes when we came out of COVID. 55 minutes, an hour, then it's an hour. And I get it, because after a while, I'm kind of like, where do we got to go? First of all, where do we have to go? And number 2, y'all gonna leave here and go everywhere, and you won't limit yourself there at all. I'm not advocating for long church, because I actually try. We've added a few elements back in that have pushed the service back a little bit, but I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna be here for 3 hours and 4 hours like back in the day, but I'm not about to sit here and like try to force myself into 75 minutes anymore. I'm not doing that. And Spirit's moving more and stuff. Let the Spirit move. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? But I just feel like we have a short form approach because you can tune in to number 1, even if it's a longer service, you can tune into the part you want.
Absolutely.
You can wait for the preacher to put up the TikToks and the short clips of the best parts. Or you can watch somebody who does that quick 15-minute, here's your 5-minute word, here's your 15-minute word, here's your morning devotional. And then we're talking about these kids, like mine, who will not sit through a 22-minute cartoon. Used to be 22 minutes plus commercials. They won't sit through a 22-minute cartoon. They don't even watch Netflix anymore. It's all YouTube shorts and
Reels
and TikTok, and all of that. And even, once in a while I'll catch them, they watch, our boys, obviously they watch the anime, this, that, and the other. But we've done it too. And we've turned everything into short form. But we know from experience, even in a society that is very advanced, a lot of tools at our fingertips to help to sort of expedite a lot of things, that nothing beats time spent with something and someone you care about. Nothing beats time spent. I'm not talking about wasted time.
Right.
And most of our services are not wasted time. Even with the 2-hour plus service this morning, there wasn't a wasted moment. We didn't even do like real announcements and somebody getting up for, hey, the Lord, saints. We've cut all of that out. So it really was a quality experience from start to finish. But I would say that we have to, as a people, and the preacher can't push you into this.
Right.
We have to want more. And I get that more time listening to a person is not necessarily more time with God. but we are living in one of the most biblically illiterate eras
And just to that
in
point,
generations.
to that point, you have to realize that a lot of these clips and these reels people are putting up, they're putting up the very best of their sermon.
The rest of it's garbage.
Right. 45 minutes of garbage.
They was scoopity scoop up.
And you cheering and going crazy over this one little piece.
Include mine, by the way. You gonna get that 90 seconds of goodness. The rest of it, don't watch. So I want to turn the page a little bit because, and go back to Sylvester's. He had a long comment, but I want to read it because he was talking about how it was rougher in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, right here. And it was 80s and 90s. That's good. There's just so much to do now compared to times past. And this generation is softer than we are. And too many pastors have followed the trends of others. I just wanted to read here. It says, keeping 100. Many pastors have become lazy and have gotten, I agree. We've gotten lazy and we're like trend chasers now. And not to say churches have not always floated together. You know, hey, you get a screen, I get a screen, or you using that new microphone system, or, I mean, it could be everything from y'all getting drum sets, we'll start getting drum sets way back in the day.
Right.
I get it. But I think it turned into stuff that wasn't necessarily healthy for our people. And by the way, I will say to some of my core saints, older saints, not being mean to you, how can I say this? It might be actually, you know how older folk who retire say, I don't want to slow down because, if I slow down and get out of the routine, my body will get weak. I think that's happening to some of our older saints who have adopted virtual service too much. Some of our older saints who have adopted and don't push themselves anymore, especially if they're retired. I'm being honest as a pastor. I hope y'all still love me. Especially if they're retired and church was that thing they did do 3 and 4 times a week. And now they're coming maybe once a week and watching everything else online. The fact that they're not pushing themselves, they're actually making themselves more, what's that word they say, lethargic?
Absolutely lethargic.
And when you start to lose your bodily energy and even your spiritual energy and that push and press, we're not seeing the saints stay old and strong like we used to.
And I don't believe, and I don't care. I don't care whose church it is. I believe that there are a lot of people who turn that sermon, that Bible study on and walk away. They walk away.
Man, please do not brag about these views. Please, preachers, stop bragging about these views because I will dig down in a second and see they all 3 second. They scrolled. Somebody's baby tapped it on accident. I had a lady watch a service and tell me about how she watched the service and didn't realize she was watching the wrong Second Baptist for like 45 minutes. She was like, the background was blue, pews were blue, and I thought y'all changed the church. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Dude, I saw what it was. I'm like, this ain't even close. Sedentary. Thank you. Sedentary is the word I'm looking for. That's the word. When you become sedentary, it means you've been sitting too much. And like you said, you're not really for real watching. Not most people. Now, those of you that put it on your TV, shut everything down. Put that phone on the Bluetooth. I appreciate you. I love you. Some people I watch it later, and those comments come up. All of our pastors know this experience.
Yes.
And that thing just starts dinging at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Amen. They're saying the title. They're doing all this. They go to sleep. Glenn telling on Pastor Carla. He's talking about Pastor Carla. He just don't want to say
cooking
it.
Dinner.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I believe that the habits. I will never stop believing that if we are able, if life doesn't prevent us, and when I say life preventing us, I mean, work. I mean, kids, and we have the sports. I'm making hard choices every year as my boys get older and, praise God, a little better at sports where they are being asked to be on teams. And I'll be honest, this might be my last year doing it, but I kind of said no one more time to another league that was going to have my boys in all weekend tournaments. And I'm not trying to limit them in whatsoever. There are other options. None of the time will come when we don't have the option. They will have to do this. Brother Carol said, but it sounds like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to stay relevant to the old saints with the old Red Cross and trying to attract younger folks with Kiki Sheard. I agree, but let me tell you this. I'm not having a hard time getting younger folks to come out to church in person on Sundays. And all of them will tell me the same thing. I've actually done young adult surveys. It's the word. Now, I know they enjoy the singing and the music, and we have a pretty good, flow in the service. I know that. But it's the word. So, and here's the other thing. There are a lot of other subjects, and maybe I should say it like this. Not just other subjects. When I say subjects, I mean things that concern our people that other people talk about, and sometimes even other faiths. And I think that's worth paying attention to.
Yeah.
I would like to talk this maybe in not no bigger cities, but my Muslim brothers who do teachings through the weeks, other religions. I mean, we've joked and talked about guys like this Geno Jennings fella and different people who do these clips. They're attracting men and younger people. And they're not always talking or preaching biblical text. I know that. But I'm saying they're talking about something, and people are coming out into a room and listening to them. So it does have to be a desire on the part of the people. I think it also matters what we present. And I kind of want to end on that, is what are we even calling Bible study anymore? Because in some ways, I kind of joke sometimes that in a lot of ways, Bible study is kind of like preaching without hooping. We just don't have the organ and the worship and the traditional altar call and ain't he all rights and all that kind of stuff.
Some people do that. Some people's Bible studies are actually preaching.
It's just midweek service.
Midweek service, yes.
It's not a Bible study.
Yes, midweek
it's
service.
a midweek service. And the idea of Bible study, because I get people start Bible study groups, the number of people, and there's no shade if you're one of these people who have done this, who said, hey, y'all, I'm thinking about starting a Bible study. Who would like to join me? Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry. Maybe let me backtrack. Maybe I am shade. Maybe this is some shade. What qualifies you? Because when I say Bible study, I'm talking about exploring and explaining the text so that people understand what it means. And then, only then, what it means to your life. Okay? First of all, what does the text mean?
Right.
What does it really mean?
Right.
And anybody should know at this point that, especially I don't care what Bible you open up, to be honest, because if you open up the old-fashioned King James Bible, there's a lot of words you got to dig into, because words written then do not mean what they mean now. Absolutely. And you be reading the whole words out of context and don't understand that, they just meant different things than they do now. Or you read it at face value, 2025 lens. It is not what they were talking about in AD 25.
Right.
Okay. But also some of these newer translations that kind of do the work for you are basically somebody's own opinion and commentary. And it's even a commentary in the script, like the Message Bible in some of these. It's just his idea of what he thinks the text says. And those of us who study it have a lot of problems with some of this stuff. So they do the work for you, so you just read it, so it sounds like it's easier. But a lot of it just seems like, I just want to talk about life and talk about myself, and the Bible's kind of a backdrop. So join me for some crackers and let's have Bible study. Right. And you can't get the first step down because you're not qualified or educated enough. And I know that sounds elitist. I know that sounds arrogant. But if the first step of Bible study is studying what it says and what it means by what it says, and then what it means to your life, if you can't do the first step,
yes, sir.
Why are you bringing people to your house or doing these? And God help me, some of these churches with small groups. I see some of the folk talking about, my church let me start a small group. And I'm like, why? Why? Because it should matter. I would not let an unqualified person work on my car or my body or my teeth if they don't know an alternator from a carburetor, from a muffler, from a battery, from a starter to whatever, and so to me, it's
talking about me, y'all. He talking about me. Because I promise you, I don't know
matters
nothing. I can't change a tire.
That what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
I can know what's wrong with my car, but not know how to fix it.
Right.
And so even pastors, and to Vicky's point, you're very right. Some of our pastors have just been up talking the same talk. We do not explore text. We do not walk through the Bible. We do not teach in long series that force us to dig into the text ourselves. But honestly, sometimes people don't want to hear it and do that. They want the quick inspiration. They just want inspiration a little bit quieter, and they want to be oohed and awed, but they don't always want to learn. Sometimes Bible study is, we're just going to go through what these words really mean. So the next time you go and read for yourself, you will know when you read Holy Spirit, it could mean this, it could mean this. When you read, I always teach about the word study. Perfect example. When you do Bible study, that's why you should come to Bible study, all y'all. I'll get up and say, here, the text says study. For instance, study to be quiet. Study to show thyself approved. In that context, the word study does not mean reading a book study, like I'm cramming for a test. It means be careful to. Literally, the word study in those two contexts, those two scriptures, it means to be careful to. Take special care and caution. Make this your focus and priority.
Right.
Make it your endeavor. Study to be quiet. Literally, take extra care to be a discreet and chaotic type person. Study to show that spirit. So make extra care and effort to show your life as a good, godly life, doing the things. If you read the text before that, they give you some examples of the way you should do that, like a runner running a race and all that kind of stuff and staying in bounds. That's Bible study to me, because the next time they come across that scripture about study, they'll know what it means.
That's right.
To a lot of people, they'll say, study to show thyself approved. That's why you need to get in your word. That's right. I'm in my word. You in your word. And I'm just like, that's not study, because you didn't learn what the words mean. And honestly, we don't want to. And the funny thing is, again, in short form, we'll believe anything. You can open up TikTok right now and somebody will turn a can upside down, poke a hole in the bottom of a Pepsi can and say, did you know you were really supposed to drink Pepsi like this? And we'll be like, oh, I didn't know that.
Oh my God. That's so deep.
I didn't know that.
So with that being said, with that example you just gave,
Right.
who's qualified to teach Bible study?
People who know stuff like that. I'm just being honest. I'm being real. People who know stuff like that. People who know that word you've been reading for a long time does not mean what you think it means. And it's on us, because sometimes I could be very blunt and sometimes, strong about it. And so I work on not making people feel bad. But, and by the way, teaching is also about helping people explore the possibilities of the text.
Absolutely.
Because you live in a reality where it has been studied, debated, parsed over so much. And obviously denominations and different reformations have some different views. And I will sometimes say, this scripture or this belief is looked at like this in these circles, and then it's looked at like this in these circles. Here's kind of where we fall within our church, so you kind of know where we stand. But I have grace, because obviously people much smarter than me on both sides of the issue have really torn into this. And so one thing I've learned is that certainty is the enemy of study. If you think that what you've known and what you've thought about a text, a concept, an idea, a doctrine is all there is to know, it can't be nothing else. There's some stuff that we will not budge on, obviously, but even how you arrive to that point can always still be explored. How do you continue to talk about the divinity of Christ and the effect of the cross and the work of the Holy Spirit? There's so much more to explore, but to say you've already got it down to Vicky's point and all you're doing is repeating the same 5 points you've been repeating since 1963, to me, that's what makes Bible study stale. I think some people are missing out on the richness that they haven't heard in a long time, because they don't know how qualified and blessed some of their pastors and teachers are to explain.
I think, to your point, two things to the points you were just making. One is that you said, sometimes you try not to. Some people need that. Some people need to get told that's wrong. You need to be
told
incorrect.
We get it. If you go to a school, if you've had a mentor who's well studied, they will pull you to the side and say, son, you sure did preach, but that was wrong.
That was wrong. And then the other thing, Lord, what was the other thing I want to say? Oh, it was something so good too. But I mean, you're absolutely right. No, it didn't rhyme.
Okay.
It didn't rhyme.
Usually if it's really good, it rhymes.
Or it's 3 points.
It's 3 points.
3 points. But no, I mean, I think it's really noteworthy that some people need to be told, that was it. I saw a guy the other day preaching, popular preacher, preaching that when the Bible says, don't be unequally yoked, he's talking about the relationship between God and himself.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I was like, what are you?
I saw that. So
and I mean, and then so I go to the comments and there's only one person that disagrees. Everybody, that's good. That's revelation. Listen, no, that's not revelation. That's speculative theology. It sounds good, but you can't find it anywhere in the Bible.
Correct. And it's a total misuse of trying to, and there are more in-depth and nuanced nuanced ways of looking at some of those scriptures, because we do just say, I mean, we got these phrases and we just say them like unequally yoked. The kingdom of God suffereth violence, violence taken by force, you know, that kind of And so, but turning it into a whole false doctrine, because you're trying to sound deep different.
Right.
And sometimes you could be so different. You're like different than God at this point. You're like so different. Dr. Hearns used to say, somebody somewhere ought to agree with you sometime.
Right.
And he would say, and he still says, I just called him the other day and he gave me a speech. I was telling him, you know, I got this degree and he'd encouraged me. And big shout out to Reverend Dr. Frank Hearns and Lady Hearns. I think they've been married, 64, I forget how many years. They've been married a long time. That's the daughter put up a post. But he would say to me, you know, sooner or later you're going to get in front of somebody who knows.
Right.
And they're going to know that you don't know.
Yes.
And you'll be steady talking, not knowing that you don't know. And the people will say amen. The people will hoop and shout over just about anything sometimes. But somebody's going to sit there.
Somebody knows. There's a law of first mention in the Bible. You know, if it's mentioned once, it's to be mentioned throughout. You can't just take one scripture, one text and try to just, you know, make a whole.
I always say try to make a narrative normative.
Right.
Like
I
you're
love
trying
that.
to make what was said, what we should do. And to me, that's what I strive to do. That's why I if I had a wish and a hope, it would be that people that have given up on church, given up on Bible study, I think the movement in the church, if I had a hope, and maybe I'm not the personality for it, maybe somebody else is, that I believe sitting down and studying would be the best entryway for the skeptic, for the discouraged, for the I'm sick of this church people, for the I've seen it all. And because you know what, we've seen it all. We saw most of that on Sundays and at revivals and at conventions.
Right.
That's where most of our hurts, the excesses, the long offerings, the crazy altar calls, the you know, embarrassment stuff of calling folk out by name. Most of that stuff, the hurts, the stuff that turned us off, a lot of it happened on Sundays.
Yes, it did.
To be honest. A lot of it happened on Sundays. So
and Fridays.
And Fridays. And Friday nights. Listen, Friday night was crazy service. The police ain't coming to save you on Fridays. But I do envy what I see in some other religions. I've said this in the pulpit. I've said it in Bible study. I'll say it here. Christianity and our brand of Christianity, evangelical Christianity, is the only faith that people come to primarily based off of the emotion of musical and expressive worship as opposed to teaching and conversion. Yes. Like I'm accepting what's being taught and I'm sitting down and listening to the teacher. When a guy leaves the church to go explore Islam, he just walks into a room and listens to a Muslim talk. Yep. They're not captivated by a better worship service than the Christian church. Matter of fact, they're sick of what they experienced. And they want to go somewhere and just be quiet and talk. So I think when it comes to qualified people, to Pastor Pierre's point, and people who are capable of being engaging, capable of attaching their teaching to real life, talking about the issues we're going through, some of us are talking. Me and you are one of those. I'll give us credit. Some of the same stuff that we're listening to a Geno Jennings or a Louis Farrakhan, or there's some younger Muslim ministers out there that are saying some good stuff to the culture. Some of us are saying it too. Talking about the strength of the family, talking about economics, talking about the state of our communities, talking about, you know, how we chase the wrong things and da-da-da-da. And again, a lot of times it comes in spaces where the people that need to hear it the most and know that somebody's talking this language, because we can't fit it all into a Sunday message, and Sunday cannot be like a social commentary for 45 minutes. It's got to be the gospel.
Right.
It's got to be spiritual.
Absolutely.
So I just feel like if I could see a generation give it a chance, and sometimes I've dropped the ball in some ways of not exploring opportunities to give more people to give it a chance by trying to create different spaces for teaching.
And can I just say this? Can I just add this to the gumbo for free? Listen, if you don't know, say you don't know.
Please say you don't know.
Don't make it up. You don't get. It's okay to say, you know what? We're gonna have Bible study again next Tuesday, and I'll have that answer for you. Or I'll call you tonight when I get that answer. You don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. And stop trying to make stuff up to try to make yourself sound good and look good. To pretend like you do know it all.
If you don't have it, just buy some curriculum. just buy something solid. Listen, check. Hey, you don't know where that's coming from. They have you teaching, Jesus was from Mars or something.
Y'all know I can't see.
What do you think about the rise of biblical scholars like Wes Huff becoming mainstream across the podcast industry? First of all, I think it's good because there's space for everybody. So just like, first of all, in pulpits before there was media, but then whether it was radio, then TV ministries, and now podcasts, you have plenty of kooks and clowns. You might as well get some folk that are respected voices. Alistair Begg was my go-to for years, right up in Solon. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't far away. He had that Scottish accent, and I just loved his teaching. A lot of people followed Andy Stanley and Charles Stanley. Andy Stanley. He's a little left field.
Charles, yes, I like Charles.
And so that's a good thing. I've been following this podcast called The Bible for Normal People. I shared it with Pastor Pierre.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring, but it's mostly white guys. But what they're doing is basically ruining the Bible as we thought we understood it. And they literally have episodes like Jim ruins Genesis. So basically he kind of tears into your assumptions. Some of the stuff I said this morning about Genesis is kind of along those lines. I already kind of knew it, but it was along those lines because they remind people like, you do know the Bible is part of a ancient Near Eastern compilation of stories. So if you talk about Noah and the flood, there's like 15 religions that have a flood story. The Epic of Gilgamesh, for those that had to read that in high school or college, is a flood story and, a battle story and all this kind of stuff. And it predates the Noah story, at least the recording of it. So somebody else had that story before we did. So my point this morning was I still believe all scripture is inspired and for our good, but we should at least wrestle with the idea.
Absolutely.
At least be willing to encounter, because it's not like our people can't Google. It's like you said, not just that we don't know, but then we just won't acknowledge the possibilities and the variety of beliefs. I can very strictly believe what I believe no matter what, but I'm not going to act like my belief is the only belief on the face of the planet. And that's another thing where we just have to be cautious. So Bible for Normal People, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed they talked about prophets, this wonderful quote that I put on Facebook when I was listening to it on the way to Columbus, that prophets, and it really hit me right in the feels talking about Friday night service, Big Mike. Prophets are always concerned more with cultural shifts and trends than personal sin. And when you think about prophets as we understand it, they always got a word for you. And yes, they would address the kings, but it was always for the sake of, where are you leading this people? Right. Where is the kingdom going? You're all going to suffer. Right. You know what I mean? We just get on, you were sleeping around last night. That was a prophecy when we was growing up. Or you're going to be blessed. And that kind of thing, like very personal, you and your household. Where if you read, it's like, just look, read the Bible. He's like, just read it. If you would actually just read it, you would find out that the prophets are always talking about, which way is Israel going? Israel. Which way are they going? Right. Are they falling off? Or are they getting back in line with God? And when he addresses a king or the priest or whoever or the people, it's really about the bigger picture of where culture or the whole country is going. Absolutely. And so he was like, so when you're talking about Trump or politics or whatever, that's actually not unfair. You're talking about which way. He said, don't just talk about the man. Talk about the nation that made the man. Absolutely. Talk about the culture. Where did we get to a place, whether you're on either side of the spectrum, that person became our person? Because I'll even say to my conservative friends, you can't tell me there ain't some conservative out there that believe all the same stuff he does that couldn't act like they got a little bit more sense. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Have a little sympathy for a guy with cancer. You can't tell me you can't find a conservative that believes in everything he believes in, that doesn't know how to call people scumbags on Twitter and Truth Social. That's just me. So what nation created that figure? While you're screaming at the figure, you need to be prophesying to the people. Absolutely.
Elijah, when he said no more rain, it was because the nation believed in the rain God.
Yeah, they were chasing.
It was all encompassing.
And so I would just encourage, and again, I think it's on us. And maybe we can end with this. I know we're over time. We're coming to our time. Ask, does live is the TV? Okay, it's back. Does Tuesday work better for your people than Wednesday?
Some. I switched to Tuesday because obviously Tiffany had
counsel.
Right. So it was so some people like Tuesday better, some people like Wednesday better, but
You're never going to catch everybody with any service.
Yeah.
But I would say
I'm averaging right around 20, 25 people coming to Bible study.
I kind of probably need to do a church survey, and now I'm feeling motivated to do it. Number one, how do you feel about the Bible? I can. Here's what I know for me, and you might do it too. I really need honesty. Like, it just stays too long. Because I really 7:15, that'd be better. And I knew, because I can't really do, because I can go and go and go. And I'm a talker. I can go and go and go. It's good to me, you know. And 10 folk that don't mind hanging out, don't mind if they miss CSI, you know. But
you know, my Bible study is 6 to 7. But if it cuts off short, it cuts off short. It is what
I've never been to Bible study. A lot of people. Man, we have some moments in Bible study.
Oh yeah, some great.
No music.
Without the Lord knows I get emotional. Word impacts me as I'm teaching, and we're just, you know, we had a moment a couple weeks ago that I was talking. I was kind of that shifting the atmosphere kind of talk we use, and my lesson. It was talking about how Jesus shifted everything. Right. And I said, this is a real shift. It's when the shift in the atmosphere is not the organ hitting a chord, right, or a certain holler in the house or a certain praise getting to a level. It's Jesus entering.
Come on. That's the shift.
And that when Jesus enters, doesn't matter what we're doing physically or musically or whatever, but it's like throughout history, in mankind, in society, amongst the people, in a family, the covenant, literally Jesus stepping into the world. That's a shift, you know. And, you know, you get to thinking about all the shifts of your life when Jesus steps in. And I just feel like, especially in a day of cliches and TikToks and quick phrasing, it's so important for us to take the time. And speaking of the ChatGPT and the AI, you need to hear from a human voice the word of God.
Come on, sir. You
really do.
One thing I did.
And in person battle. One
thing I did take a survey of is whether they like the one-offs or the series. And the folk love the series much more. Just, you know, sticking with a theme.
Brother, I'm taking my series and I am letting AI help me outline after I get done, because I write all of my outlines in person. I really do write them. I'm getting ready to release another book, but I've allowed AI to help me like chart chapters along with it. And series,
absolutely,
you know, and pay my tuition off, because I'm about to do this covenant book that I taught for almost 6-7 months, and I know you get sick of it, but that's teaching. Honestly. That's teaching. I have to take Greek 1 and 2 in school. I have to take, you know, New Testament theology 1 and 2, fall semester, spring semester, you know, that kind of stuff. And honestly, I think that we are doing our people a disservice. I'm in school, and you know, and I've been in school, and I'm not trying to be, well, the school said this, and I do it like this in school. But you'd be surprised if you kind of made things a little bit more official and structured, it's actually more beneficial. You know, a lot of people learn, particularly by repetition. They don't realize it all the time.
By repetition, by just continuing to say stuff over and over again,
right,
making sure, and not with the young lady up. You know, you say the same thing every single week. Yeah. You know, when I'm doing a series right now, and I went back. It's 4-week series, and this is on Sunday morning. But every Sunday, I go back and repeat a little bit of what I said last week.
Every time.
Yeah,
I'll take the first 15 minutes. Be like, all right, so let's catch up where we're supposed to be.
Right.
While I go along.
Right.
Third spaces, meeting somewhere that's not a sanctuary or a fellowship hall. Beneficial. The use could do it. I don't always have the time to properly prepare it. I bet I could help some of my Bible studies, whether I created some other, especially for younger people, where the first 5 minutes is a quick clip of somebody explaining something a lot quicker than I would. Because, you know, we just get to talk. We'll talk. Come back to it. But if you just what Spirit is according to the Bible, and then discuss off of that. So things like that could help. I'm big on the third space thing, and then finding ways to kind of split audiences where sometimes people need a certain thing in a certain generation or situation. I know that's where your small groups come in, but your leaders still have to be qualified.
Absolutely.
And not just good hosts.
Come on, sir.
Because that seems to be what we're sort of qualifying people to.
They got the space.
You got the space
you got the nice
and the
house.
time.
You got the nice house.
And the time.
Yeah.
You know, you're excited to do it.
Get
Any
some good
questions,
spaghetti.
comments, Big Mike, anybody before we go? Yes, Sister Karen, we had a good, God blessed us. Mike got on me about my footwork. I guess I ain't got it down yet. I haven't been to enough.
You shouted that?
Still got my river dance on.
Okay, all right.
Got my river dance on for
That
my
was a
healing.
river dance. I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Jeff does the river dance.
Oh, okay.
Mike is really talking about me, man.
Nah, it was cool.
Cold blooded, man.
It was good.
I'm never praising God again.
You play tambourine?
No, Karen did.
Oh, okay.
Listen, you know better.
It was funny. Did you see that? Because somebody told me today, he's like, Grayson grabbed the tambourine. I was like, Grayson,
it out of his hand.
We don't play tambourines.
Listen,
we do not play
Somebody
tambourine.
tried to get Ethan a fan. I said, put that fan down. Fans of the new tambourines. Put it down. God was good, though. Is there any questions, comments, Mike?
Yeah, real quick. I think it would be a good idea to have a Bible study for new Christians, the younger people coming in.
We actually have one called Spiritual Boot Camp. Y'all just don't get up at 9 a.m. and come to it.
It's like that. It's like that. Okay, you got me back.
Actually, I'll get that Pastor Pierre. Pierre, actually, he just put up a graphic. He wanted to get some folks. I'm joking. But I think a different time would be good, too, because 9 a.m. is hard. 9 a.m. is hard. But so you're saying new Christians, Bible study?
Yeah. Yes. I just feel like sometimes, when you're preaching, it might be a little overwhelming for some of the new Christians that really don't know a whole lot, don't know, you know what I mean? So.
Would they make the time for it?
I think they would.
Okay.
Pastor Harrison used to have a new converse class. Really great. We have basically you just joined church converse class. And so, I mean, it's good. I mean, obviously I'm at 11, so,
Right.
that class is at 9:30. So.
Yeah. And to that point, that wasn't a joke, but I mean, really to that point that Pastor Pierre, we actually created and replaced one of our Sunday schools with what we call Spiritual Boot Camp. And the design of it was after you go through our new converts, baptism classes, or new members classes, unless you are very advanced and just coming from another church, you should transition into Spiritual Boot Camp, which is exactly that. Maybe. What you just, it's funny because we actually put on a little graphic and it should be announced, perhaps a survey be helpful. Because they'll still do the 9 a.m. thing for those that want to come to that. But I think some weekday evening option might be better.
The spiritual boot camp.
Spiritual like goes on. New just what is baptism, what is salvation, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Spiritual boot camp might go through the whole
Okay, I like that.
concept of being a Christian. We actually have a book, that's called Spiritual Boot Camp.
Okay.
And it takes us through it.
I like
but
that.
I mean, I really appreciated the commentary, the comments, the insight. Jeff shared some fire tonight. I guess it's always a work in progress. And again, I think there has to be effort on both sides. Pastors have to give something that is relevant, but biblical. And sometimes what's relevant or what you call relevant ain't biblical. It can't just be life advice.
Right.
And snazzy cliches about how to be a better person and, all that stuff. I mean, we say enough of that. We talk enough. I really do. You're going to get right. Folks can't handle your potential and you got haters around you. I mean, that's great. That's not Bible study though.
And listen, we all do. We love the stories of the Bible, but get past it.
There's other stuff.
There's so much Bible
There's other
for you
stuff.
to explain, to teach on.
Read out of
Past it.
Zephaniah.
Right. Do the whole book of Leviticus. I don't know.
Give Amos some love. give Amos some love, man. You know what I'm saying? Fill him on, man.
Come on, Philemon. Yes, sir.
Fill him on some love, man. Thank you for watching. This is Religiously Incorrect Podcast. We're so glad you tuned in. I'm tired, you're tired, but we're glad to be here with you.
Absolutely.
Until next time, same bat channel if we're in town. God bless you. God keep you. Like, share. Peace out.
Peace, y'all.